Hello and welcome inside Alumni at Alumni Field for a presentation of Michigan softball on WCBN Sports. We have game one of a doubleheader this afternoon here live between the hosting Michigan Wolverines and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Lucas Vargas. And as we get ready for this game, we'll go through the starting lineup really quickly. Megan Bobian will be in the circle for the Wolverines, and she'll be facing, leading off from the top of this first inning, Jess Hughes, Haley Haklatube, and Rebecca Hall. The fielding is kind of as usual. They've settled into a pretty normal assortment of players. Tara Blanco will be at first as she is not in the circle. Canfield at second, Rodriguez at short, Uden at third, and then in the outfield, as always, Hogan, Rod Peters, and Aiden Falk, Katie Alexander behind the plate. And Lucas, what are you looking forward to most in this game?
Well, the pitching of Megan Bobian continues to be stellar. I was here on Wednesday for the Michigan State game, and she was electric as always, her characteristic self. You just like to see that continue. The Wolverines only allowed one run at home so far this season, and you'd love to see that trend continue.
This was a game that was not on the normal schedule. This was supposed to be tomorrow's game, but as we look at the forecast, about 100% chance of rain all day. So they did not waste any time. Scheduled this one at this current time here, 4 o'clock. We'll have the other game right after this one at 6. And now the opening pitch from Megan Bobian is just a little bit low to Jess Hughes as we lead off here in the top of the first inning. Michigan enters this game at 33-7, up to number 17 in one pull, 16 in another. Bobian's second pitch is just up, and it is a strike. Late call.
Yeah, and Rutgers does have a couple girls that can do some damage at the plate. Jess Hughes batting about 308, so she is one of them.
1-1 coming to Hughes, and that one is a little bit high, it appears. 2-1. A solid crowd for a game that wasn't initially on the schedule on a little bit of an overcast day, but the rain should hold off. The 2-1 is a strike. 2-2.
Pretty warm and favorable weather, not too windy. Yesterday was rather windy, but say today with some sunshine would have been about as perfect as it could get.
So here's Bobian's 2-2 to Hughes. Swing. Oh, it hit Haley Haklatube in the on-deck circle. Don't like to see that. Now she's walking down the third base line trying to walk it off. She got nailed in the thigh.
She's actually going to head back into the dugout for a quick second.
Maybe we might see a pinch hitter, so then we'll have to see. But the umpire now is conferring for a moment. Our home plate umpire for today is Terry Holt, and he is going to be talking with the Rutgers coaching staff, see if there is going to be a lineup change. But, boy, that was really a hard pitch from Bobian, and Hughes was late on that one, just got a piece of it and shot it just straight off the bat the opposite way, and boom. So checking back in is Hughes, the 2-2 once again, and she pops it up infield. Right there is Uden. She makes the easy catch, 1 out.
Well, back to the foul hit. I mean, we know how hard Bobian throws. Her velocity can reach the upper 60s, and that ball was hit pretty soundly and just nailed her right in the thigh. That's not an easy one to take, but looks like Haklatube will
she's good.
Head into the box.
Nice to see, and really that out created right there, that was an even worse swing than the first one. Hughes was way behind and just got a feeble piece. Uden right there for the first out. So Haklatube steps in, the left fielder, and she's a slap hitter and watches the first pitch go outside and a little high for a ball. 216 on the year. Rutgers would like if she could get on a little bit more because they've got some big hitters behind her. The 1-0 coming from Bobian, and that one is taken for a strike.
Home plate likes to give some later calls.
Yeah, Terry Holt, a little tardy on the calls. Haklatube, a left-handed hitter, steps out, readjusts, and gets back in against lefty Bobian. The 1-1 coming, and that one is a little bit high, just off the plate, 2-1.
Yeah, Bobian did a great job in the last game, and I mean really all season at just limiting base runners. Whenever hitters do make contact, it's usually on the ground or a soft pop-up.
The 2-1 coming, and there's a bunt tip foul back to the screen past the glove of Alexander. She collects it, so the count will run to 2-2. Bobian enters this game as unquestionably one of the best pitchers in college softball, probably the best freshman pitcher in college softball. Enters with 23 wins. That's number 1 in the NCAA. Also throwing a ton of innings at 135 and a .83 ERA. Here's the 2-2, and that one is just a little bit high. So 3-2. Some longer counts here against Hokla Tube.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Beaubien also added win number 24 against Michigan State.
Either 23 or 24. Here's the 3-2 coming, and it's just a little bit high. Hokla Tube will get a not a lead-off, but a one-out walk, which will put ducks on the pond for the big hitter in the Rutgers order, Rebecca Hall, hitting .395 on the year with 6 homers and 34 RBIs. Those are both the team lead, and even more impressive, 6 triples. No one else on the team has more than 1.
Rebecca Hall, one of the best hitters in the country when you look at the numbers.
And she takes first pitch swinging and gets a piece of it back to the screen. Alexander catches it off the netting and fires it down to Beaubien. Hall ready to take her cuts, and Beaubien throwing so fast. If Hall barrels it up, it'll go a long way. A lot of power in this bat.
That's a nice little face-off between the two.
The 0-1 coming. That one also a little high. That's where Beaubien is missing so far today. That one up near the head level.
I think something that I've noticed when I watch Megan Beaubien so far this year, sometimes at the beginning of the games, her control is a little over the place, but she settles in.
The 1-1 coming. That one is sky high down the third baseline. Backtracking is Uden. She will have no play. It'll get out into sort of the warm-up area down the left field line. So now Beaubien is ahead in the count 1-2. She's got 169 strikeouts on the season. She's not a Megan Betza, but she is pretty good at earning her fair share of strikeouts.
Yeah, she does a great job at mixing up her pitches as well. Does a great job not just relying on a fastball.
The 1-2 coming. And just off the plate. 2-2. Beaubien generally works quickly, but taking your time. Here's the 2-2, swinging a high pop-up. That's in foul territory. Back goes Alexander, but she will watch as it gets into the stands. An older gentleman tried to make the catch, went off of his hands.
That's a tough play to make for a fan without a glove.
So we've seen Hall make contact against Beaubien pretty consistently, but she's just not able to get in front of any of these. But you can see the power because these are high pop-ups. Here's the 2-2 once more, and she gets that one again. That one's going well foul off to the left, over the bleachers, and out of play. So a good battle between two excellent players right here.
Pretty similar to the battle from Wednesday. Leah Forster for Michigan State did a good job of making Megan Beaubien really work in the at-bats. We're seeing it similar out of Rebecca Hall.
That pitch, that's low. It's going to get by Alexander. Going down to second is Hokla Tube. So now Rutgers has a runner in scoring position. A 3-2 count on Beaubien, and out comes Alexander. She's going to talk to Beaubien.
There's Katie Alexander, really solid presence behind the plate. Just going to go out there and calm Megan Beaubien down. Just sometimes what the pitcher needs to refocus.
Yeah, she's been missing high generally, but that one was well low, went between the legs of Alexander. She's been so good this season at keeping pitches in front of her, not allowing a lot to get to the screen. Very good defensively. But here comes the 3-2, swinging a ground ball past the first baseman, Blanco, down the line. Hokla Tube coming home. She will score, rounding second and staying there is Rebecca Hall. And there's that power we talked about, a double down the right field line. She just ripped it on the ground, and Blanco just unable to get over and make the play.
Yeah, and Rebecca Hall, as we mentioned, one of the best hitters in the Big Ten, if not the country. Another double to add to her total on the year, which now stands at 11 doubles for Rebecca Hall.
Yeah,
and only the second run that the Wolverines have allowed at home all season long.
So a big infield conference going on between all four members of the Michigan infield, talking to Beaubien and just trying to get her on the right page. She'll now face Maya Moy, 294 average, a solid player, a second baseman. And she will take a ball 1-0. And now Alexander comes out to talk, and now we're going to have just another conference. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Not sure if it's something physical or just the mechanics are getting away from Beaubien at the current moment. They have Tara Blanco, who threw her first career no-hitter on Tuesday. She's always available to come in, and Sarah Schaefer's been a very solid freshman surprise as the number 3 starter. So Michigan has their options if they feel that they need to go away from Beaubien. But obviously, you don't like to see your ace kind of out of sorts here. You want to see her work her way out of the jam.
Yeah, you'd love to see her just really settle into who she is. Really having trouble with her location so far this afternoon. And you would just love to see that get corrected earlier in this game.
So 1-0 on Maya Moy. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Yep, just blew it right by her.
See if that swing and a miss can get her going. Much more of her usual arsenal.
1-1. On the way, swing and a miss. Yeah, very just hapless looking swings there. Moy does not look like she has any idea what's coming from Beaubien. So now she's ahead 1-2. See what she wants to do against Moy, who wears number 99, a little unusual. The 1-2 coming. Oh, and she gets a piece of it into right field. Trying to come home. They're going to hold her at third. Hall held at third. And now Rutgers is threatening. That, though, was not nearly as hard hit as the double by Hall. That just a solid contact, but not a whole lot. Not something I think Beaubien should be too upset about.
2 straight swing and misses, and then Moy able to time the third one up and get it right into the sweet spot over the first baseman, Tara Blanco. Rutgers does have a capable lineup, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, and they're showing it right now.
So here's Sierra Maddox, the catcher, and she swings and pops it up in the infield grass. Canfield is under it, and that's a big out. That's a big out.
Big out allows them now only to get required 1, and hopefully they can work out of a jam right now and just get back to the dugout and recalibrate.
So Nicole Bowman at the plate, number 88. Beaubien just needs to focus on sitting down Bowman and getting out of it. And Moy's going to go down to second as Alexander thought about throwing it down there, but obviously she had the risk of the double steal with Hall standing down there on third. So now this raises the stakes as that pitch was a ball. A single from Bowman could score 2 and put Rutgers in a really nice position. This is a big moment. The 1-0 coming is, I guess, inside 2-0. And Beaubien looks a little frustrated. Maybe a tight strike zone. Tough to tell from our angle from Terry Holt. Here's the 2-0 swing and a miss. Just pounded it right by Nicole Bowman. No chance.
Well, you mentioned some frustration maybe building up. Let's see if she can channel that into her pitches. Maybe put some extra heat on them.
Here's a 2-1 to Bowman. Oh, that's a good-looking pitch. Taken for a strike. 2-2. See if she can carve her up and get out of this jam and strand 2 Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive. Canfield's got it. Throw over to first. Oh, and what a nice defensive play to get out of the jam. Whoa, that was a hard hit ball, but Canfield turned to the side. Kind of bobbled it for a split second in the webbing, but found herself just enough to deliver the accurate throw to Blanco and to get the not-so-speedy Bowman over at first and get out of the jam. So Rutgers threatens, but they only get 1. A walk and 2 hits, but otherwise Beaubien manages to weasel her way out of it.
The excellent concentration by Faith Canfield to stick with the ball and not allow it to get past her. That's a veteran infielder making a tough defensive play and a necessary one at that, able to keep the lead at 1 for Rutgers. Now the Michigan Bats have an opportunity to take on the Rutgers pitchers who have not had the most success this season. It's going to be Cambria Kiefer trotting out for the Scarlet Knights. She boasts a 3.77 ERA, 5-7 on the year with 78 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts and 27 walks. So we'll have to see what the Wolverine offense can do. Only scored 5 runs so far in 2 home games combined this week. 4-0 win against Eastern Michigan and 1-0 win against Michigan State on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively. See if the lineup can get some pop in the bats here at home.
So Michigan obviously a little frustrating in their offensive performance this week. Against Eastern Michigan, they had 5 hits, but also 4 walks for 9 base runners in 7 innings, just unable to really bring a whole lot together. Got 4 runs in that one, but they're going to see struggling pitching staff, and Cambria Kiefer is one of them for the Scarlet Knights with the 3.77 ERA, also the 93 hits and 78 innings. Should have their fair share of base runners in this game. Canfield leads it off, and she grounds it to short, coming in and throwing in, just getting her. Nice play there by Hughes. Jess Hughes had to come charging in and deliver a strike and just got it.
A really close play. Good effort by Canfield to try and run it out. She was really close, but Hughes able to make the throw just in time to Rebecca Hall.
So Peters will come in now. And that's it's a concern for Michigan. They don't want to get too over-aggressive because they are going to see stuff that is hittable coming. And Peters will take a ball on the outside part of the plate, 1-0.
Appear that the baseball team just hit a home run.
Nice to see. They're hosting Maryland, and they're on a 15-game winning streak now?
Yes.
Yep. That pitch is fouled back to the screen by Peters, so 1-1. Peters, the slap hitter, looking to get aboard, and then let Tara Blanco, who's just been on a tear, along with Lou Allen, Madison Uden, Katie Alexander, next hitters coming up, trying to get Michigan that tying and go-ahead runs here in the bottom of the first, trailing 1-0 to Rutgers. The 1-1 pitch is high, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, the Michigan lineup ever since the Wichita State game in Austin, Texas, has really turned it on, and you'd like to see if they can dig their teeth into vulnerable pitching.
They're looking for more consistency, though. It's been a lot of just kind of when it rains, it pours. The 2-1 coming, that slap hit down the left field line, just over the head of the third baseman, Wells. And that'll be a 1-out single for Natalie Peters. She just got enough of it and took a big high hop off the infield dirt, went over the head of Wells, down the left field line for a nice little single. So, Michigan in business.
Natalie Peters loves to pepper that third baseline. A lot of her hits will come towards that area, and usually her speed can take care of the rest. Not necessary on that play, but good start for the Wolverines.
So here's Tara Blanco. She is the biggest power hitter in this Michigan order, a senior first baseman pitcher. She takes a pitch outside, 1-0, the righty hitter. She now has 9 homers on the season. Last year, Michigan's team leader had 9 homers for the entire year, and Michigan's still got quite a few games to play. Blanco has just been hitting really well since they returned to Alumni Field, and she takes a pitch inside, 2-0. 694 slugging percentage, 34 RBI, 17 walks, an OBP of 443. Blanco has finally gotten back to the kind of offensive production she had as a sophomore. She takes that pitch way outside, 3-0 coming. And now we're going to have a conference. Maddox strolls out to talk to Kiefer and try to settle her down, make sure not to get herself into trouble here.
Blanco, the do-it-all senior, definitely going to draw some attention from the Rutgers pitching staff. They're going to do their best to pitch around her and make her chase tough pitches, but sooner or later you got to throw a strike.
Here's the 3-0 coming. Oh, boy. Michigan never swings on 3-0, and that pitch wasn't close. In the dirt and outside. So that'll be a walk. Now there are 2 on with 1 out here in the first. And now Lou Allen steps in, who has really started to find herself. A talented freshman, was one of the top 10 recruits in the entire country in the class of 2017. She'll take the first pitch for a strike. So Kiefer finally finds the zone. Allen had a knee issue to start the year, missed the games down in Tampa to start the season, and slowly got mixed into the lineup when they were in California for a series. But she's really started to come on. Finally has hit a couple homers, showing some power, and she swings on that one and fouls it back. So she falls behind 0-2, but the stuff that Kiefer's been throwing definitely hittable. We'll see if she can barrel up another hit.
It's really nice to see another one of Michigan's really nice freshman pieces out on the diamond. Nice to see her coming back from injury.
Here's the 0-2. That pitch is head level, and she takes it for a ball, 1-2.
Lou Allen earning Big Ten Freshman of the Week after their trip to Penn State, the weekend sweep. She batted .429.
The 1-2. Ooh, that's a gutsy take. Just a little bit low, maybe a tad outside. She's now being patient, seeing what she can get. Obviously watching Kiefer struggle command-wise against Blanco. Has to wait for the right one. And that pitch is taken for a ball. Now the count goes to 3-2. So Kiefer is on the verge of walking the bases loaded. She's got to find the right pitch to Allen. Allen does have 6 walks on the season in 51 plate appearances. Here comes the 3-2. That pitch is shoulder level, and she will go down to first base. So that's a discouraging at-bat for Cambria Kiefer because she was ahead 0-2 on a talented hitter and then just couldn't find the zone.
Yeah, and Rutgers really in danger of squandering their early lead already with the bases loaded. Just went out for the Wolverines, and Madison Uden has really had a nice season at .375 with a batting average. Rutgers going to come together for a little infield conference as we speak, but you got to like how Michigan has stayed patient and not chased any unnecessary pitches, done their job to get on base.
They've got to be careful here in this one. And we have another conference out on the mound, all the infielders, along with Maddox, and I believe that is the associate head coach, Jay Miller, either him or the head coach, Jay Nelson, coming out to talk to Kiefer on how they will attack Uden, who has been the sophomore breakout player for the Wolverines, up to .375 on the year. She didn't really play a whole lot her freshman year, started to come on late in the season, but she has stepped up in a big way. And now she hits it deep to left field, back to the track, to the wall. It's gone, a home run. A grand slam for Madison Uden. And Michigan takes a 4-1 lead over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Wow, what a blast. I mean, could it be any better for the Wolverines offensively to start? A little bit of a role reversal from the Michigan State game, much more of a pitching battle from both sides. It seems like Michigan found their offense.
Uden delivers with runners on, 3 of them on the bases. She did not waste any pitches. First pitch, just a bomb to left field. And she's a lefty hitter going the opposite way, showing off the power.
The conference in the circle for Rutgers did not go as intended. And, this is what we expected. Cambria Kiefer over a 3.7 ERA.
Having some struggles as Katie Alexander steps in. She takes the strike. She's been another breakout player, not someone who was expected to do a whole lot. There was a good piece in the Michigan Daily about her recently. And there's a swing and a miss, 0-2 now. She has really, really stepped up. Has been excellent defensively, but now hitting .330 on the season. Just not what anyone expected from her, becoming a very valuable piece, along with 4 homers on the season. She takes an 0-2 pitch outside, 1-2.
Yeah, Alexander didn't really hit the ball too well at the beginning of the year, but she's really turned it on over, I'd say, the last month and a half or so.
She taps the plate once, cocks the bat over the right shoulder, and waits on the 1-2 from Kiefer, and she swings and pops it up. Shallow left field, backtracking to make the catch is Jess Hughes, and that will mean it's 2 outs in this inning, and we'll bring Falk up to the plate. Aiden Falk has been struggling a little bit. Not one of Michigan's better hitters here in the Big Ten play, and she was right in the meat of the order when the season started. She swings and misses on a pitch in the dirt. She was in the 4-hole down in Tampa when the season began. She's now slid down to the 7-hole as Allen, Uden, and Alexander have all passed her offensively, but they're looking for her to get back on track. She's got 4 homers. She's got a lot of power. She's a senior, someone that the team really trusts, and they'd like to see her get some consistency back as we enter sort of the home stretch of Big Ten play into the postseason.
And still batting over 300 and doing great work in the outfield defensively.
The 0-1 is taken for a strike. And 2 on Aiden Falk, lefty hitter. Here comes the 0-2 from Kiefer, and she gets a piece of it right back up the middle. A base hit into center field. That's what you like to see. Scalding line drive right up the middle. And Fault takes first base on a 2-out single. And that'll bring Haley Hoganrod to the plate.
Hoganrod also really batting well at home. Currently ranked second on the team with a .500 batting average through 7 games.
She's a big fan of Alumni Field, I guess. She takes that pitch down and away for a ball, as our colleague Morris Fabry would say, Haley Hoganrod. 1-0 on Haley Hoganrod. And she swings, gets a piece of it. That one is hit well to right field, but backing up and just on the warning track, Bowman will make the catch. So Michigan is able to get 3 hits, 2 walks, but one of those hits was a big one with 3 ducks on the pond, a grand slam home run from Madison Uden to slingshot the Wolverines into the lead after 1 inning of play. Our score, Michigan 4, Rutgers 1. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
So a great response to a tough first inning for pitcher Megan Bobian, who allowed Rutgers to score the game's opening run. The Bats respond fittingly with 4 of their own, and Michigan will look to see if Megan Bobian can refine her normal arsenal of flame throwing in the second inning.
Look to see some consistency from here. Looks like we've got some folks joining us. Pinckney High School softball is in attendance, along with a few other clubs. West Bloomfield High School varsity softball. It's a good crowd for a game that was not on the initial schedule. Again, a makeup for Saturday, preemptively making sure they can get this one in. Michigan already has had 1 Big Ten game canceled. That was in Iowa, where there was some bad rain. They had to do a similar thing where they had to play a doubleheader on Friday, and then the game on Sunday was canceled. Michigan entering this game back to number 1 in the Big Ten, looking to start another streak of Big Ten Conference regular season titles after their lengthy one was snapped a year ago. Indiana in second place. Michigan will see them in a couple weeks, but otherwise they've got some room to work. They've got to be the favorites at this point. They're playing well. Their only loss was one of those games in Iowa, but they swept Penn State last weekend. They beat Michigan State on Wednesday. They've got confidence going, and the first pitch here is a strike to start off the second inning. It'll be Aaron Collins, the designated player. The 0-1 to Collins is a strike on the outside corner. And so Bobian gets ahead 0-2. That's what you'd like to see. Struggling with command in the first. Now getting ahead of Aaron Collins. Collins 222 on the season. Does have a couple homers, though. Here's the 0-2 from Bobian, and she just got a piece. Shoots it back to the screen. Alexander barehands it off the hop and fires it down to Bobian.
This is a really manageable spot of the lineup for Megan Bobian to deal with. None of these hitters above 225 for Rutgers. So you'd like to see 3 straight outs.
Here's the 0-2 coming. Just floats a little high. 1-2, not a bad pitch to try to get the strike 3. Bobian threw a shutout on Wednesday of Michigan State, and Tara Blanco threw her first career no-hitter on Tuesday. Michigan enters this game, I believe, top 5 in the NCAA in team ERA. Here comes the 1-2, a check swing. They'll appeal down to first. Did not go. First base umpire is Sergio Villarreal, and the third base umpire Laura Head, along with Terry Holt behind the plates. The 2-2 on Collins. Here it comes. Oh, and look at that off speed, and just stood there like a house by the side of the road. Aaron Collins is rung up. 1 out for Bobian, her first strikeout of the game.
Yeah, and Bobian known for her fastball that is so deadly, but by striking that fear of the fastball, she can work in those off-speed pitches, the changeup. Great spot right there for it.
There's a first pitch is a check swing by Megan Wells. Did not go, so 1-0 on Wells, who wears number 5, the third baseman, hitting .204 on the season, the lowest average in the lineup today. The 1-0 coming to Wells, and she just nubs it down the right field line, just kind of lofted it, and goes past Blanco and drops into foul territory. So it'll be 1-1. Canfield runs it down and fires it in to Beaubien.
I think Megan Beaubien looks a lot more comfortable in the circle this inning.
Here comes the 1-1 ground ball to short. Rodriguez is there. She fires over to first and gets her by a step. Sure-handed Natalia Rodriguez, who has been so good for Michigan as a freshman, is shortstop.
Yeah, another one of the bright freshman pieces for this Wolverines squad. They do a lot with their youth.
They got Beaubien in the circle. They got Allen at the DP. They've got Rodriguez at short. Schaefer has been solid. Taylor Bump's really the only freshman we haven't seen a lot of, but her time will come certainly. You always have to have a mix of upperclassmen and underclassmen. And boy, there was the off-speed pitch there from Beaubien. And Nicolette Anico just had no idea it was coming. Swung several seconds before the ball was there. So it'll be 0-1. Beaubien looking for the quick 1-2-3 inning. That pitch is high, 1-1.
She really just seems to have settled down after watching her teammates bring in 4 runs to give her some support.
Anico, the center fielder, a lefty hitter. She shows bunt and gets ready. Here's the pitch. She slaps it just down the right field line, bounces off the cage, protecting the Michigan dugout, and I believe we had an infraction there, so that'll be the 3rd out.
Well, that's one way to do it, and a nice, efficient 1-2-3 inning for the Wolverine defense. They'll look to get their deadly bats back out there, see if they can keep the trends from the first inning going.
We now have the how do you say these Michigan cities graphic on the Jumbotron. First to Ypsilanti and Milan, Michigan. Fort Detriot.
Fort Gratiot.
Charlotte. Lake Orion was the next one on the list. Mackinac.
This one was the toughest. On tonight.
We were down at the Frozen Four and we had some fun graphics there on the Jumbotron. I always enjoy watching those.
Bring back the dad jokes.
The dad jokes.
Bring those back.
That was the best one.
Without a doubt, the best one. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, Drain, you and I have been on the calls lately, haven't we?
Yep. Got a double header here today. Just keep going out here. And you were down on Wednesday for the softball game.
I was. It was the Megan Beaubien's 8th shutout win of the season. Complete game shutout, that is. And she has also pitched in 7 more of those combined. UM has 20 total shutout wins on the. Won't be getting one today, but.
Here's Natalia Rodriguez, the slap hitter, ground ball to shortstop, backhand play, throw down to first, and she got her. Wow, Jess Hughes, another fine play. She does a defensive robbery on a shortstop who is just known for defensive robberies. Natalia Rodriguez, I mean, that was a really well-hit ball, but a fine backhand play, turn, stop, and fire across. Rodriguez is quick and still just got her by, I guess you could say, a quarter of a step, an eighth of a step, a bang-bang play, but making the call with authority, Sergio Villarreal. So to bring back up to the top of the order, Faith Canfield. Canfield grounded out to short back in the first. That pitch floats a little high, 2-0 now on Canfield.
Jess Hughes has made 2 really, really close throws to start this game off the first couple innings.
That pitch is low, 3-0. She's been the bright spot, really helping Cambria Kiefer get into less trouble than it could be, keeping some ducks off the pond. So now she's fallen behind once again, 3-0. And as usual, Canfield will take it for a strike, trying to draw the Wolverines' 3rd walk of the day, as Allen and Blanco both walked back in the first. 3-1 coming on Faith Canfield. She checks her swing, and she'll go down to first. No appeal, and that'll be a 1-out walk.
And coming into the game, Cambria Kiefer had 28 strikeouts on the year, but 27 walks. She's now given up 3 walks today, so now has more walks than strikeouts on the season. Michigan doing a great job staying patient.
It's been a little bit of a rough season from Kiefer, and now she faces Natalie Peters, who hit that high chopper down the left field line for a single to get the rally going, and she scored on the Uden homer and takes strike one from Kiefer. Slap hitter, and so pulled in on the lines are Wells and Hall at third and first, respectively. It's about where they were playing Peters last time when she chopped it, and now she hits that one right to third. They're going to try to get due. Throw down to second one, no play at first. So fielder's choice will result in one out and will leave Peters at first with 2 outs for Blanco.
The Rutgers looking to potentially turn a double play in that situation. They have turned 30 double plays in 36 games so far this year. It's one of the better double play percentages.
There are some hitters on the Michigan team where you could do that feasibly, but it's really hard to double off someone like Natalie Peters. Pitches a little inside to Blanco, 1-0. Blanco drew the walk her first time up, and she scored on the Uden homer. Here's the 1-0. That pitch is low, 2-0, and now she's starting to get in danger again.
Kiefer really just trying to work around Blanco to get her to bite at something unfavorable, but Blanco, very experienced, seen a lot of softball, not phased.
The 2-0 pitch, that one is low. Throw down to second. Peters on the steal, and she will get in there for a stolen base. Nice play. And the call was a ball on the pitch. Now 3-0. Peters got a decent jump, but not a great one. Maddox's throw was pretty close, but Peters in her speed is able to just get in there. So she's in scoring position. If Blanco puts a single in play, she'll take the 3-0 pitch for a walk. Oh boy. Wheels starting to come off a little bit from Kiefer. That's her 4th walk of the game now. And we'll put on 2 on for Lou Allen.
Lou Allen in the Penn State series really did great work at the plate. Double 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. See if she can get something going here.
Here's a pitch swinging a fly ball into right field, but coming on and making the catch is Bowman. So that will get Kiefer out of the jam. A solid hit, but not quite far enough from Allen. So that'll bring us to the top of the third. Michigan remains on top of Rutgers 4-1.
Michigan unable to bring any around the bases that inning, but still threatened with bats still getting on base. And really, all you need for Beaubien is about a 1-run cushion, it would seem, but 4-1, definitely a favorable position for her.
Beaubien goes back out there, starter warm-up pitches as we get ready for the top of the third inning. Michigan leads 4-1. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Lucas Vargas for both the games here today. A doubleheader coming up. The skies are gray, but when you look at the forecast, it seems like we should be able to get these 2 in.
That's the hope right now, as the weekend is supposed to be pretty rainy. I think the gates of heaven are supposed to open up for some downpours. Enough so to cancel the spring game for football.
Yes, Michigan's football spring game is supposed to be tomorrow, but lots of rain and thunderstorms. So that was canceled. This Saturday game was moved to today. I think baseball still has their Saturday game tomorrow. Not sure why they didn't move it for a doubleheader. Maybe they couldn't fit one in. Playing 2 games of baseball is tough to fit into a 3 or 4 hour window.
Yeah, baseball's tough for that.
Yeah. Beaubien will face the top of the Rutgers order, facing Jess Hughes, and she lines it to short. Oh, and a nice diving play there by Rodriguez. Did she catch it off the air? I think she did. I think that's an out.
Home plate ump gave the out.
Yep. She got up and threw it down to first anyway. Hughes beat it there, but there was no need for that, because that was a fine diving play, stretching out and just getting the glove under it. Once again, really fine defensive work for Natalia Rodriguez this season.
Nice work showing off the defensive range.
Hakla Tube is up, and she tries to lay down a bunt. It goes down in the dirt for foul. 0-1 is the count on Hakla Tube. She got aboard back in the first on a walk, and then she would come around to score on the double by Rebecca Hall. Hall waiting on deck. 0-1 coming. That pitch is a tad high, 1-1.
Hakla took that hard hit foul ball to the leg to start the game, but looks like hasn't bothered her too much. She didn't reach base in the first inning.
1-1 coming. Oh, that pitch is a little bit high. Hakla not the tallest hitter of all time, and with small frame, showing bunt repeatedly. It's a condensed strike zone. Beaubien doesn't really want to surrender the bunt hit, and drawn in at both corners, Blanco and Uden. Beaubien delivers. That's a good-looking pitch for a strike. 2-2, right down the middle. And now Hakla is up against the wall.
Beaubien has a lot of options with this pitch. The 2-2 count. See how she decides to attack it.
Beaubien steps back on. Here comes the 2-2. Oof, just off the plate, maybe a bit low. That looked good.
Some of the fans did not like that.
A 50-50 call there on the outside corner goes against Beaubien. So now 3-2. And try to keep Hakla from getting another walk. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. She got her on strikes. That's a nice-looking strikeout. And now 2 outs.
One way or another, Megan Beaubien gets the job done, adding another strikeout to her total for the year.
And now Beaubien has retired the last 7 straight Rutgers hitters. Rebecca Hall now at the plate. She takes the ball a little bit high. Hall doubled down the right field line. She got in front of one. It was a lengthy battle, and she just ripped it past Blanco.
Yeah, that double makes her only need 6 more to set the new school record for the Scarlet Knights.
1-0 coming to Hall. Oh boy, that was the changeup, and in the dirt. And Hall was swinging anyway, and just a goofy-looking swing.
Goofy's the best way to play it. She gave a little smile after that one.
Make a 1-1 pitch coming. That one is down by the knees and just a tad low. 2-1. Beaubien being careful how she works with Hall. That double has now upped Hall's average to 400 on the year. The senior first baseman. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Hall. Oh boy, got her again with the changeup. Swing and a miss, but again, not even close.
Makes her look silly, man.
If I'm Beaubien, I go right back to that because it just doesn't seem apparent that Hall is preparing for the off-speed pitch at all. Here comes the 2-2. There it is again, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Beaubien strikes out Hakla and Hall, and now she has sat down 8 straight Rutgers hitters. We go to the bottom of the third. Michigan leads 4-1 over Rutgers. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
Great inning once again from the pitching and defensive group. As they have really started to settle in. The bats continue to threaten.
It will be Uden leading off here in the bottom of the third. She'll be back up after hitting the grand slam. It was her 3rd homer of the season and her 24th RBI of the year in her breakout sophomore campaign. As the Rutgers players go back out there and get ready for their defensive warm-ups. Just around 50 degrees, a little cool, but not hot, not cold either. And yesterday it was in the 60s. Everyone was wearing shorts and finally getting some sunshine. Today, it's warm enough that you don't have to have the winter coat, but also not terribly warm either.
Say this is the kind of weather that I expected to see from a Michigan spring.
Yeah, finally arriving as we are now getting to the mid part of April. Today is Friday the 13th of April. Michigan will have the weekdays off this coming week, and then we'll get a weekend series against Maryland next weekend as they continue their quest to win the Big Ten regular season crown. Also trying to see if they can't get into position to host a regional, the NCAA tournament. As Uden will swing, and she'll hit it shallow into center field. It'll drop in front of Aniko, and man, Uden So really good looking swings off of Kiefer. Her second hit of the game, a leadoff single, and Michigan is trying to put on some more runs.
Madison Union really locked in this afternoon. Another big swing and big hit, and she likes attacking that opening pitch.
Katie Alexander getting ready to step in now. Alexander popped up to shortstop her first time up with Uden on first. No one is holding Uden on, as that is a ball inside on Alexander. Corners, Wells and Hall are playing one step inside the bag, and Uden could steal if she wanted to. Not much of a major threat. 3 steals on the season. The 1-0 coming to Alexander, and that one also, I think, inside maybe a little low. 2-0 now on the junior catcher.
See if Uden gets a good jump. This pitch had a couple of times to time it up.
She's inching off a little bit. 2-0. And she goes, but the pitch is fouled down the right field line and bounces off the bleachers, making that loud sound just right in front of the TV booth to our right. And now 2-1. Falk on deck. Nobody out. Uden on first here in the bottom of the third. Michigan leads 4-1. Here comes the pitch. Swinging a liner into center field. That'll get down a base hit. So now Michigan is threatening once again. Pretty similar to the Uden single, just lofting it enough to get it over the heads of the shortstop, the second baseman, but bouncing well in front of the center fielder, Aniko. So now 2 singles, put 2 on and nobody out. Michigan going to try to bust this game wide open. Aiden Falk singled back in the first. See if she can keep the frame going.
The onslaught on the base paths.
Falk will take the first pitch for a strike. 0-1. Falk, the lefty hitter, gets ready from the righty Kiefer. That off-speed pitch is a little high. 1-1. Falk has got some power. She's hit 4 homers on the season, so she has the ability to really strike in 10 doubles, 1 triple. See if she can find a gap. The 1-1 pitch is off the plate outside, 2-1. Again, these very late calls by Terry Holt keeping us waiting
on our
to see if he goes up with the arm or not.
You can hear the strike call sometimes. He gives a pretty distinct.
The 2-1 pitch, that one is low, and now Kiefer in danger of loading the bases with nobody out. As Falk is in a good hitter's count, but Kiefer has really not been able to command it well today. Already 4 walks, so not too eager. See what she gives her. The 3-1 coming. Swing, and she gets a piece of it and goes out down the third baseline off the screen. Foul, 3-2.
Full count. Kiefer really needs to manage this one well. Bases loaded with no outs would be a nightmare.
Hoganrod waiting on deck. Rodriguez in the hole. For the bottom of this Michigan lineup. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on Falk. She gets just a piece of it. That one was low, and she golfed it and shot it down the third baseline off the screen that protects the Rutgers dugout.
A couple of hard-hit foul balls in that general direction.
Yep.
So far this game.
Not a whole lot towards the Michigan end on the right field line. Crowd trying to egg Falk on. The 3-2 coming from Kiefer. Swinging a fly ball into left field. That'll get down in the gap all the way to the wall. Picking it up in left field is Haklatube. She throws it in the cutoff, and the throw to the plate is not in time. 2 runs will score, a double for Falk. And Michigan now takes a 6-1 lead over Rutgers here in the bottom of the third. Double with nobody out there by Aiden Falk.
Double number 11 on the year for Aiden Falk, really showing off the power that she possesses. And you mentioned her move to the 7th spot in the lineup, but that's a pretty dangerous 7-spot hitter to have on your team. Michigan really bringing the bats alive in this game.
Finally breaking out after the disappointing offensive performances earlier in the league when we said we got a pitching change. That will be the end of the day for Cambria Kiefer. She exits and notifying the home plate umpire Terry Holt, Jay Nelson, Jay Miller, as they make the pitching change. Now coming into the game for the Scarlet Knights. Have to tell the number. Taryn Collins, number 15.
Collins comes in with a 5.47 ERA, 3-2 on the year, 14 appearances, 24.1 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 10 walks on the year.
Now, this is a Rutgers team that hasn't had a ton of success in softball since joining the Big Ten. They are 17-19 on the year, though, and that is an improvement from their 14-37 clip. 2-5 in the Big Ten. They had 2 games canceled against Wisconsin. They did take 2 from Penn State. Got swept by Ohio State in the previous series to this one, the non-conference schedule. They did beat Pittsburgh, who Michigan played. They played Texas, who Michigan also played, lost just 2-0. But when they were matched up against some of the elite teams in college softball, Ole Miss and Oregon, they were run-ruled in both of those games. And Michigan could be in doing that. They're up 6-1. They need 3 more by the 5th inning and keep Rutgers off the board in order for that to happen. So here's Haley Hoganrod. She's facing Collins, and she lays down a bunt that will go foul. Interesting delivery there from Collins.
The Wolverine batters now will have to figure out the new pitching style, the new pitcher. So see if Haley Hoganrod can figure out right off the bat, maybe give her teammates in the dugout a chance to scout out the new pitcher.
Collins gets ready and delivers. The 0-1. Hoganrod lays it down. Fielding it is Wells. Throws down to first. Gets Hoganrod. So with 1 out, it moves the runner Falk down to third. And we'll give an RBI opportunity for a pinch hitter. Entering the game now for the Wolverines in the place of Natalia Rodriguez is Alex Subject. Subject was the one who was essentially passed by Natalia Rodriguez. Subject was the starting third baseman, Uden at short. And then after that was in the opening series in Tampa. And since then, they've shuffled it around. Rodriguez has become the everyday shortstop, kicked Uden out to third, and squeezed Subject out of the lineup. But she's been a steady pinch hitter and a bench bat for the Wolverines. And she'll have an opportunity to bring in a run as she takes a pitch for a strike from Collins. Subject on the season, 267. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and she's a little tardy to it and pulls it down the line. So now she falls behind the Collins 0-2.
The Subject has 14 RBI on the year, and with the runner on third, she is looking to add to that total right now.
Needs to try and find a way to bring in Falk. Shows bunt, maybe a squeeze coming. She swings and pops it back and foul past the screen. Ooh, almost making a nice catch as a fan up the top rows.
Nice job getting out of the way of it, too.
Yeah. Move you if you miss it. Once again, she gets ready for the 0-2 from Collins. Swing and a miss. Oof. Subject just not able to catch up to that one. So that'll be 2 outs for Faith Canfield. Canfield drew a walk last inning. She grounded out to short in the first inning. This is her 3rd time up. Michigan's best hitter statistically looking to bring in a run. She takes a strike 0-1. Collins is able to find the zone a bit more consistently than Kiefer was, even though she does have 10 walks and 25 innings pitched on the season. Here's the 0-1 from Collins, and Canfield just shoots it over to second. Quick play there by Moy, and that'll retire Canfield. So Michigan, though, adds 2 more runs on by a big double by Aiden Falk to spread the Michigan lead to 6-1 as we head to the 4th inning. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
Hi, I'm Carol Hutchins, head coach of the Michigan softball team, and I invite you to join me in Team 41.
Yeah, as they clear or rake the dirt, rather, you have to say that this is another solid inning of work from the Wolverine bats. Brought in 6 runs so far in 3 innings, which is more than they had in the last 2 home games combined. See if that trend can continue through the rest of the afternoon. Still have a whole other game to play after this one does end. It's scheduled doubleheader. Rutgers finally making a pitching change and able to get out of the 3rd inning without allowing more damage after falling behind 6-1.
Trying to dig themselves out of it. Find a way to come back in this game. And looks like we have no, we still have Bobian out there. For a second, it looked like it was Schaefer, but 10-18 looking pretty similar. But Bobian will head back out there as we get set for the top of the 4th inning. We've got some changes and a pinch hitter now for Rutgers in the place of Maya Moy. Or had 11 up there for a second. Now it's back to Moy.
No change.
No change. They were announcing that Rodriguez is now back out there at short for subject, but there's a strike. 1-1 the count on Moy as they got these shuffling lineups. Tough to keep track of everything that's going on, but
the sun pushing through for a brief minute.
The 1-1 coming. That one is lined down the right field line, but it will just go foul. Finally getting in front of that one. Nice contact. Well, Bobian now ahead of 1-2. She struck out the last 2 hitters in the 3rd, looking for her 4th strikeout of the game here of Maya Moya. A shorter hitter with the tougher, smaller strike zone. Here's the pitch. Oh, she just got a piece. Fastball and just tipped it back to the screen. Bobian pounding her with the heat. Had a little bit of an uncharacteristic 1st inning. She gave up a RBI double to the big hitter in the lineup, Rebecca Hall, but since then she has really settled in to her normal self. The 1-2 pitch to Moy coming. It floats a little high, 2-2. Bobian puts the ball in the glove, and she winds up and delivers. Oh, just getting a piece of it as Moy grounds at third base side. But it will go foul. She had to lean out and extend the bat just to make contact on that one. Really not seeing the ball from Bobian very well here today.
Say an interesting thing I've just recently spotted is that Rutgers has a literal drum in their dugout that they are playing.
I was wondering where that was coming on. That pitch is popped up in the infield. Uden coming on, she makes the catch. Yeah, there's been kind of that, reminds me of the Cleveland Indians.
Yes. It's a steady tempo. Pretty good. They're a pretty good player over there.
Yeah, they've also brought some fans with them. They've got a section of about 2 bleachers or 3 bleacher rows of some fans above their dugout. It's now 1 out with that pop up to Uden. There'll be Sierra Maddox coming on in. And that is a strike.
They are mixing up the beat, too, for some different batters. I like this. I'm a fan.
Bobian holds the glove on her hip, and she delivers the windup. And just getting a piece of that one and fouling it back to the screen was Maddox. But, man, for a good offensive first inning for Rutgers, they've really now just been thrown off. And even when they are making contact, not good contact, not seeing the ball real well. Here comes the 0-2 from Bobian, just off the plate, 1-2.
Well, Bobian has really also settled down. I think she got some nerves out in the first inning, and when she saw the bats behind her in the bottom of the first, she's just come out with much different confidence on this Friday afternoon.
Now here's the 1-2 coming. Swing and a miss. She got her on strikes. Bobian is really dealing now. That'll be strikeout number 4, and quickly 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Now stepping in is Nicole Bowman, the right fielder who's had some action in the field today. She takes the first pitch for a strike. And that is also a strike there. So now Beaubien has retired 10 straight hitters entering this at-bat with Maddox, and now she's quickly ahead 0-2 looking for another strikeout. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, just a little significantly high, I guess you could say, but 1-2.
We're examining the roster and the pictures in here. I'm pretty confident that's Ashley Sosa who is playing the drum.
And that's a strike 3 call. They do the appeal down to first. Terry Holt appealed to Sergio Villarreal, and that's a strikeout for Beaubien. So she gets 2 strikeouts there in the fourth. 11 straight hitters retired. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Michigan leads 6-1. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
This will be the Wolverines' second look at the replacement pitcher, Taryn Collins, who was able to finish the inning after Kiefer allowed 2 runs in the bottom of the third. So we'll see how the top of the Wolverine lineup is able to attack her this time around. Due up is going to be Peters, Blanco, and Allen for Michigan.
Michigan looking to get 3 runs in this one. If they do that, they could enter the top of the fifth, just needing 3 outs to have a run rule and then bring on the second part of the doubleheader between these 2 teams in Big Ten play. Took a look at the softball standings entering this game. Rutgers third from the bottom at 2-5. Indiana number 2 in the Big Ten, Ohio State 3, Minnesota 4, Maryland 5. Michigan once again at number 1 as they enter this weekend series. Peters digs in, and she slaps it to the second baseman, coming on for a quick play. Oh, and a nice throw from the glove into the hand. Maya Moy just does get Peters by a very short amount. Quick 1 out, and it'll bring Blanco to the plate.
Nice extension by Rebecca Hall.
It was not the most accurate throw, but she hurry with the speed of Peters, always the threat of the infield single. Here comes Tara Blanco. And a strike taken, 0-1. Blanco now in this game has drawn 2 walks in the first and the second innings to up her OVP to 451 on the year entering this at-bat. The 0-1 pitch is off speed and high, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1.
Blanco really just going to see what...
It's a strike, 2-2. Being patient.
Yeah, really see what Collins has in her arsenal. See how she wants to attack this 2-2 count.
Here's the 2-2 on Blanco. That was outside, and a nice defensive play there just to get her glove on it by Sierra Maddox. No real risk with no runners on, but still she had to leap up to contain that one. Here comes the 3-2 on Tara Blanco, and she just gets a piece. Leaning forward to make contact and stay alive, looking to draw a 3rd walk of the game or get a hit. Three-2 coming on Blanco. Oh boy, that was head level. She had to duck out of the way of that one. And so she will take her 3rd walk of the game. Puts another runner on. And Lou Allen coming on up for the Wolverines with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, really dangerous pitch up near the head of Tara Blanco. Able to get out of the way, though. And another walk that she draws.
Here's the first pitch to Allen. That's a slow roller in the infield grass. She'll tag out Blancos. The fielder's choice will mean 2 outs. Allen on first now. It's a slow tapper to the second base side. Amoy just decided to take care of business with Blanco. She had to play either way with Allen not the speediest down the first base line. And it brings up Madison Uden, who has had a really fine game with the grand slam homer and a single. And she swings and misses. Collins has looked pretty good here for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. The walk to Blanco, but otherwise 1 2/3. Working well to keep Michigan from run-ruling Rutgers at this point. See if she can continue to limit damage. Uden takes that one off the plate, 1-1.
Like Michigan having to adjust to some increased velocity from Collins.
Yeah, she is throwing a bit quicker than Cambria Kiefer. Michigan was able to jump all over Kiefer and chase her out of the game. Here's the 1-1 on Uden. That pitch is outside, 2-1. Lou Allen stands down at first with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball to center field. Coming on and making the play is Aniko. Boy, another good hard contact there from Madison Uden, but that one finds the glove of Aniko. So it'll end the inning. Michigan gets a walk, leaves 1 on. We go to the 5th. Michigan leads 6-1 over Rutgers. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
So Collins still not allowed any runs during her tenure in circle right now in this game.
The dance cam going on. A little bit warmer than the first game I called the home opener against Central Michigan back in March. No one was interested in dancing that day. We got a nice number of kids in the crowd for this Friday afternoon contest.
What time do the kids get out of school up here?
Oh, we're doing around 3.
Okay. See if the drum continues to be played.
See if it can rally Rutgers. They're going to need quite a bit to try and dig out of this hole as they trail by 5 runs entering the top of the 5th. Bobian goes back out there.
It's looked so much more confident since the first inning. Expect it to continue as she will take on the bottom of the Rutgers lineup. Not much of a dangerous hitter to worry about for her, but still Bobian needs to take care of business.
She will face Collins, Wells, and Aniko for sure here in the bottom, or the top of the 5th, rather, the bottom of the order. Collins was struck out looking her first time up. The designated player. Bobian gets ready and delivers the pitch. That one is in the dirt. Alexander gets her glove on it and fires it back down, 1-0. Here's the pitch, swinging a grounder down the third baseline, but just foul. Uden was ready and prepared to throw out Collins anyway, but both the home plate umpire, Terry Holt and Laura Head down there at third, all over that one as it just dribbled the outside of the bag. So here's the 1-1 pitch from Bobian, swing and a tapper off the bat of Collins. 1-2 the count.
Drum continues to sound. I think Bobian might like the rhythm, actually.
The 1-2 pitch coming just outside. 2-2. The freshman Bobian steps back on. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And just getting a piece of that one is Aaron Collins. Fouling it back to the screen.
Pretty solid at bat for Aaron Collins. Trying to eat up some pitches.
2-2 swing, and I think she got a piece of it.
Yeah, just foul.
Just
Barely
foul.
tipped it by
It
the
bounced
bottom.
off the home plate and then went over the shoulder of Alexander back to the screen, it was going to be a problem if it was a swing and a miss. But instead, she gets a piece of it and stays alive. But again, just really not seeing the ball all that well. Rutgers is really fooled right now by the delivery. The 2-2 pitch. She's late on that one again and fouls it up and out of play past the cameras.
And fans continue to make their way to Alumni Field. Of course, the original game time of 6.
2-2 pitch. Oof, just off the plate. 3-2. Collins with a really nice at-bat, making Beaubien work for it. And it looks like the Michigan Stormtrooper has showed up out there in left field holding a pom-pom. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swinging a grounder to short. Rodriguez is there. She's got to hurry with the throw and gets her. Nice play there by Natalia Rodriguez. Looked like Beaubien might have a shot at it, as it was a grounder just to the left of the circle, but she was unable to get her glove on it. But again, Rodriguez just so fine there down at short.
Still a quality at-bat from Erin Collins, really making Beaubien use up some pitches and giving her teammates more of a look into the different pitches that Beaubien likes to use, see if her teammates can capitalize.
It's now 12 straight retired as that first pitch is fouled down the line. Oh, and just off the outside the diving glove of Faith Canfield in foul territory. She had to run a long way for it and was diving as she was trying to look over her shoulder. It was going to be an amazing play if she could do it, but it just gets past her. So that is a foul ball all the same. Megan Wells is down 0-1 in the count to Beaubien, and she grounded out to shorter last time up. The 0-1 pitch is at the letters, but just outside, a little high, I guess. 1-1. The 1-1 on Wells is head level. 2-1, and Alexander wants to go talk to Beaubien. Doesn't seem to be anything visibly wrong.
No, just the bottom of the lineup really.
Just make sure that it's all right.
Really being patient with Beaubien.
Yeah, they're not being too over eager. Rutgers in this game, only 2 hits, but one was a big one by Hall, a double. And then Maya Moy had a single right after that. It was that first inning, and since then there's just been nothing. The off-speed pitch is a strike on the outside part of the plate. Now 2-2. Beaubien is in business, looking for her 6th strikeout of Megan Wells. We'll see what she dials up. Try to carve her up. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt, and Alexander throws down for the strikeout to be completed. 2 outs in the inning. That one, again, a goofy swing way out in front of it, and it bounced in the dirt. But Beaubien really using the off-speed stuff to fool Rutgers and rack up the Ks here, really past the first inning.
Well, that's what makes her so dangerous, is that she doesn't just rely on a fastball. She can use a changeup, vary the location, and having this kind of control as just a freshman just scares the rest of the Big Ten with the potential that she possesses.
So Nico will stroll in. Or it looks like we have a pinch hitter now, Madison Cole. Cole is a freshman utility player. She will be subbing in for Aniko, and she swings and misses on that one. Blew it by her.
Rutgers, a team with a lot of newcomers, 10 on the roster.
A young squad. Madison Cole just gets a piece of that one. She's tall and's got a really quick swing. And Beaubien is just firing the heat. You got to think she's going to go back to the off-speed here after showing the pinch hitter 2 fastballs, especially in an 0-2 count with some room to work. Here's the 0-2. Oh, boy, she went right back to the fastball and swing and miss anyway. So Beaubien, another strikeout, 2 more in that inning. She's up to 7 on the day through 5 innings, just 1 run given up as Michigan leads 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Michigan Softball on WCBN Sports.
So when you have these kind of doubleheader games, these back-to-backs, how does your strategy change if it does?
I don't know. I think they're isolated games. Really, it's all about the matchups, especially which pitchers you see. I don't think there's too much you have to change. I think we'll see probably the same lineup for Michigan in the second game. Probably a different pitcher though. They've played their fair share of doubleheaders on the season. Some of those early season tournaments often featured 2 games in a day. This crowd in Alumni Field watches on as the sun is shining just a bit.
Continues to grow as fans will keep coming for the next game, the 6 o'clock game.
Yep, the tickets are still good. You can use them for both.
It's about 5:15 p.m. right now.
Leading off will be Katie Alexander. It'll be Alexander, Falk, and Hogenrod here to face Collins, who's done well since having to come in when there were runners on and still nobody out. 6 runs have been surrendered by Kiefer. And Collins has been able to give Rutgers more chances to try to work their way back in it. They just haven't had any success against Bobby. And Collins has got an interesting delivery. She holds it in the glove a long time and takes an interesting sort of a hop forward towards the plate, and then her delivery. Alexander watches that pitch as it is a tad high, 2-0.
Yeah, really quick pitch with a lot of power behind it. The Wolverines can get a bat on it. Could go some distance.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, swinging a fly ball down the right field. That's going to get over the head of Bowman off the wall. She's going to fire it into second, but not in time. A double for Katie Alexander. She got all of that one. And she's now 2 for 3 on the day, puts it over the head of Bowman out and right. The first hit of the day for the Michigan Wolverines against Collins. And Alexander takes off the padding and hands it off to the equipment staff.
Big double for Alexander, as I mentioned, with a pitch with a lot of velocity and power. You can get contact and go some distance. That one towards the wall.
He's had a big day, and she watches that one. 1-0. Falk had a single in the first and a double in the third, which helped to chase out Kiefer. The 1-0 pitch from Falk, to Falk is in the dirt. Collins now starting to miss a little bit. She needs to try to find her stuff. The righty Collins shakes the ball and puts it in the glove, waits for the signs from Maddox. Here's the 2-0 on Falk. That's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Went to the off speed for a strike.
Very slow. Just kind of floated into the catcher's glove. Falk looking like a statue.
Needs to refine her confidence. Falk's a dangerous hitter. The 2-1 pitch, ooh, blew it by her. 2-2. The count, 2-2 on Aiden Falk. Plays a little bit of first and a little bit of right field, and she does get a piece of that one, fouls it back to the screen.
Yeah, Falk trying to time up his fastball, see if she can get some power into the outfield as well. At the very least, advanced Katie Alexander to third.
Here's the 2-2 on Falk. She swings and flies it down the left field line, ranging over and making the catch is Hakla Tube. Going over to her right around the left field line. That was got a lot under it, but makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Falk able to get some air underneath it, but not enough distance and not foul enough. So an easy play made for Rutgers.
So that's 1 out now. Here's Haley Hogenrod. She grounds it to second, and that'll be an easy play from Maya Moy to throw out Hogenrod. That'll move Alexander down to third, so we'll see if Faith Canfield, or excuse me, that'll be actually Natalia Rodriguez, then Canfield on deck. So Rodriguez will come in. She grounded out to short and was robbed of an infield single by Jess Hughes her first time up.
Rodriguez, a lot of speed. Just needs to get the ball in play.
That's a strike. Slap hitter forces the first and third basemen's Wells and Hall to come in and be careful. Alexander down there on third. The 0-1 pitch is high, 1-1.
Coach Hutchins offers up some coaching on how she'd like Rodriguez to approach the situation.
Here's the 1-1. Rodriguez bounces it. That's going to be a tough play. Moy's got to hurry. Safe down at first. A bang, bang play. Sergio Villarreal makes the call, and Natalia Rodriguez beats out the infield single. Just a shallow chopper. Moy was going to have to charge it and then make an awkward throw down there at first. And now coming out to discuss that play for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights is Jane Nelson. Chatting with Villarreal, but nothing you can do there. So the infield single for Rodriguez brings the run home, Katie Alexander. Michigan now leads 7-1. Canfield at the plate. A home run would end the game.
Yeah, I mean, Rutgers has had a couple of those bang-bang plays and just on the wrong end of this one.
Canfield with 6 homers on the year. She's got the threat to do it, and obviously with the power from power throwing from Collins, we'll see what she can do. Rodriguez down there at first, who has 9 steals and 11 attempts on the season. That one is fouled right back at us. Goes up over the roof and out of play entirely. So the count 1-1 on Faith Canfield. Field line into down the line. Rodriguez is going to be held at third. Canfield speeds into second. A double for Canfield, and now Michigan finally figuring out Taryn Collins. And now an opportunity for Natalie Peters to potentially put the game away. A single could end it with the run rule. Runners on second and third. 2 outs for Peters, who's 1 for 3 today. And now a whole defensive conference as Nelson comes out. Everybody in, including the outfielders. All 9 players for the Scarlet Knights are in to have a chat as Michigan is threatening to end the game with runners on second and third and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, leading 7-1.
Going to have to be hit to the right location with 2 outs. No room for error from the Wolverine batters if they would like to finish things up right now.
Peters digs in. She gets ready and looks. First pitch is a strike from Collins, who's generally had good command today. That hasn't been the issue, at least here in this inning. It's been the hard contact. Here's the 0-1, and Peters swing and a single. The throw coming. Oh, they're going to hold Canfield down at third. So the game not over yet, but Rodriguez scores. The single for Peters in left field. She got all of it and just ripped it there. And now Tara Blanco will be the one to have the opportunity to end the game as it's 8-1 Michigan. Runners on the corners, 2 outs.
Well, Tara Blanco is exactly who you'd like at the plate for Michigan. One of the best hitters in the Big Ten. Senior definitely not going to fold the pressure.
That's now 10 hits on the game for Michigan with a hefty amount of walks, too. Blanco will take that one outside, 1-0. As Michigan finally figuring it out offensively and breaking through after some frustrating performances with runners on earlier in the week. That pitch outside, 2-0. And now command starting to come unscrewed a bit for Taryn Collins. Here's the pitch, and that one is outside 3-0. So now Collins at risk of loading the bases with 2 outs and bringing Allen to the plate, perhaps pitching around Blanco a bit. And Blanco does have 3 walks already in this game, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. Boosting that on-base percentage big time. She entered at 445. It's now up to 455. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. She swings and hits it into center field. It's back, track wall, and it is gone. A home run. That'll do it. Tara Blanco, a 3-run shot. And Michigan will win this first game 11-1. Their second homer of the game, a Uden grand slam. And now a 3-run shot for Blanco. And that'll do it. Our final score, Michigan 11, Rutgers 1 here in game 1 of the doubleheader. An impressive domination of the Scarlet Knights as Hail to the Victor sounds here at Alumni Field. 11 hits for Michigan, 11 runs. All around a good showing for Michigan.
All around a good showing. I mean, a couple of miscues in the top of the first, but, you know, Rutgers has a capable lineup. Understandable that they can score 1 run, but you got to love the offensive response by Michigan. Scoring 11 runs in 5 innings. Definitely a change in the last couple home games. See if they can carry that into the second game of the doubleheader. But just a really, really good all-around performance, like you mentioned.
And you gotta love that from Tara Blanco. Michigan almost never swings on 3-0, and she's a senior. She doesn't care about that rule. Swinging on 3-0, and she absolutely crushes it to dead center past the 222 sign. Again, a second homer. Madison Uden with the grand slam. Aiden Falk had a big 2 RBI double, and now Blanco a 3-run shot. A big performance all around. That'll just about do it for us here in the first game. We will be back in, I think, about 20 or 30 minutes when the second game of the doubleheader. We will tweet that out. You can find it right here on YouTube, WCBN Sports. So with that, from Lucas Vargas, I'm Alex Drain saying good night, go Blue, and we'll be back shortly.